What if I told you that being the child of one of Hollywood's most beloved actors wasn't a blessing but a burden? That behind the warm smile of Forrest Gump, there was a broken family, a mother who never recovered, and a daughter left to pick up the pieces. This is the story of Elizabeth Ann Hanks, the daughter of Tom Hanks and his first wife, Susan Dillingham, and her deeply personal revelations that are shaking Hollywood to its core. Untold story of Elizabeth Ann Hanks, Tom Hanks's daughter from his first marriage to Susan Dillingham, revealing how the triumphs of one iconic actor came at a profound personal cost for his family. We explore her revelations about a mother whose dreams were eclipsed, a childhood marked by the stark realities of fame, and the complex bond between father and daughter. In the late 1970s at Sacramento State University, Tom Hanks and Susan Dillingham met as theater students, sharing a passion for acting and dreams of stage success. Their romance quickly blossomed, leading to a wedding in 1978 and the birth of two children, Colin and Elizabeth Ann. At the time, Hanks was just a struggling actor trying to make ends meet. But things changed, drastically. In the mid to late 80s, he became a household name. Movies like Splash, The Money Pit, and especially Big catapulted him to fame. Then came Forrest Gump in 1994, a film that would cement his legacy. However, with this sudden rise came unforeseen personal consequences. But while the world fell in love with Forrest Gump, something else was falling apart. Behind closed doors, Susan Dillingham, a would-be actress with her own artistic ambitions, began to lose herself under the weight of Tom's ever-expanding fame. In her memoir, The 10, a memoir of family and the open road, EA recounts how her mother felt completely overshadowed by the colossal success of her ex-husband. In addition to her later work as a writer, it's noted that E.A. Hanks had a small acting role as one of the bus children in Forrest Gump during her early years, a fascinating detail linking her to her father's cinematic legacy from an even younger age. Elizabeth Ann, or E.A., as she now goes by, recalls being with her father and brother Colin during the filming of Forrest Gump in South Carolina. She describes a night drive along the coast, her dad suddenly pulling over because he thought he saw a mutilated body on the side of the road. It turned out to be a bag of pink insulation. But it was the first time she saw her father truly afraid. Not on the screen, in real life. By then, the marriage between Tom Hanks and Susan Dillingham was long over. They divorced in 1987, after nearly a decade together. And according to EA, the reason wasn't just incompatibility. It was the weight of Tom's growing fame. In her new memoir, Elizabeth writes that her mother never recovered from Tom Hanks becoming the Tom Hanks. She calls her mother a would-be actress who never recovered from her ex-husband's catastrophic fame. The word catastrophic wasn't chosen lightly. Elizabeth explains it felt like his fame obliterated any chance her mother had to continue her own dreams in acting. As Tom Hanks soared in his career, the home life of the Hanks family suffered. Her mother's increasing struggle with mental health issues, believed to be undiagnosed bipolar disorder marked by paranoia and delusion, led to neglect and eventual chaos at home. In one disturbing incident, Susan unexpectedly removed her children from school and relocated them to Los Angeles without informing Tom, forcing him to track them down after a 2-week disappearance. This critical turning point ultimately resulted in EA moving in with her father when she was still in the 7th grade, seeking shelter from an increasingly unstable environment. In one chilling section of her memoir, she writes about how her mother suddenly pulled her and her brother Colin out of school in Sacramento and moved them to Los Angeles, without informing their father. "My dad came to pick us up from school and we weren't there," she writes. "Turns out we hadn't been there for 2 weeks and he had to track us down." As the years passed, things got worse. The house, once a home, became a scene of neglect. The backyard filled with dog waste, the fridge often empty or filled with expired food. Her mother spent more and more time in bed, poring over the Bible. And then came the breaking point. One night, emotional violence turned physical. EA was just in 7th grade when she moved in with her father in Los Angeles. But was Tom Hanks there for her after that? According to Elizabeth, yes, but not in the ways one might expect. Following the divorce in 1987, Tom Hanks remarried in 1988 to Rita Wilson, with whom he had two more sons, Chet and Truman. In numerous interviews, Tom Hanks has reflected on the stark differences between his children from his first marriage and his later children, emphasizing that Colin and Elizabeth remember him as a man trying to make the rent. While his genuine care and warmth shine through in moments of direct fatherly concern, E.A. Hanks's memoir suggests that his mega fame might have inadvertently deepened the rifts within his family. His career success, while iconic, cast a long shadow that affected the family's dynamics and her own childhood. Elizabeth's relationship with her father appears to have improved over time, but her memoir doesn't shy away from the pain of those early years. She explores what it was like to grow up with a mother who was slowly unraveling and a father whose star kept rising, higher and higher, out of reach. She doesn't portray her father as a villain. Far from it. She says he's a man of talent and humanity, but also a man who, perhaps unintentionally, contributed to her mother's collapse simply by succeeding. That success, that fame, became a shadow that stretched over their lives. After Susan Dillingham died of lung cancer in 2002, Elizabeth set out to better understand her. In The 10, she embarks on a 6-month-long road trip from Los Angeles to Palatka, Florida, her mother's hometown, to uncover the history, the people, and the roots that shaped the woman she called Mom. The book has sparked wide interest in Hollywood. Critics have praised it for its raw honesty and nuanced portrayal of fame, family, and mental illness. But it has also raised uncomfortable questions about the price of success and who pays it. Even though Tom Hanks has remained mostly measured about these revelations, questions continue to arise regarding his awareness of the personal costs of his career triumphs. His well-known public image as the nice guy of Hollywood is now juxtaposed with the reality of a family whose identity and mental well-being were deeply affected by that very fame. So what does Tom Hanks have to say about all this? So far, he hasn't publicly responded to the book, and maybe that's intentional. Maybe he's letting his daughter have her say, tell her truth without overshadowing it. Maybe, as he once said in an interview, the best a parent can do is tell their child, I love you. There's nothing you can do wrong. You cannot hurt my feelings. I hope you will forgive me on occasion. And what do you need me to do? Today, Elizabeth Ann Hanks is a writer and editor, having worked for publications like Vanity Fair and the New York Times. She's built a career for herself outside of Hollywood, outside the shadow of her father's legacy. Whether or not she and Tom Hanks are close today remains unclear. But through her writing, she has found her voice. The shared legacy of being raised in the unyielding spotlight of Hollywood remains a poignant reminder of the challenges that come with immense fame. And perhaps that's the most powerful part of all. Because this isn't just a story about Tom Hanks or his daughter. It's about what it means to live in the orbit of greatness, to grow up in the glare of the spotlight, with all its warmth and all its burn. Being the child of a famous actor might seem glamorous, but as Elizabeth Ann Hanks shows us, sometimes it's a lonely, painful road, one that challenges your identity, your mental health, and your very sense of reality. In the end, Hollywood may make legends, but it doesn't make families whole. In conclusion, the story of E.A. Hanks is a powerful testament to the often painful reality behind the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. Being the child of a famous actor like Tom Hanks does not automatically translate to a fairy tale existence. Rather, it can mean facing deep emotional challenges and identity struggles from a very young age. As E.A. Hanks's memoir reveals, the heavy burden of living in the shadow of stardom can leave lasting scars on one's mental health and personal relationships.